All right. How's everyone doing tonight? Welcome in. We've got Arkham Horror on the docket for this evening. It's been a little while since I've played this, so I'm refreshing myself on the rules a little bit. We got basically everything set up. You can see that my camera is zoomed back as far as it'll go, and it just barely fits. It's a huge game. There's 2 more expansion boards that you could play with, but I mean they just won't fit. Also, I think 1 expansion board is probably all you actually want to play with. So we're gonna have to move these, move our characters down when we need to use the other worlds and stuff here. But we're just gonna try to make it work. It is a truly bonkers amount of stuff in this game, so we're just gonna make it work, And if you give me 1 second, I'm just reading up on the specific rules of the Dunwich Horror board down here, and then basically we're gonna read a bunch of flavor text and we're gonna get going. So yep. So yeah, this is kind of one of the quintessential big Ameritrash adventure games. It's just a ton of rolling dice, a ton of flavor text, probably getting murdered by Cthulhu. So that's all fun stuff. So finish reading the Dunwich Horror rules here. Blah blah blah. Curators. I do not want to become famous. I appreciate the offer, though. Please go away and never come back. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Spawn monsters. Yeah, I just don't super remember the rules for these vortexes and also how you get the Dunwich Horror on the board. So I'm trying to remind myself of that stuff real quick. 3 Dunwich Horror tokens are on the Dunwich Horror track. Take the Dunwich Horror marker and place it on Sentinel Hill. I mean, I remember that much. I just don't remember how you get those. Excuse me. Investigators may move between boards by spending $1 and 1 movement point to move between 1 depot location to another. Where's the depot? So I know the train station up here is a depot. Oh yeah, there we go. That's the other one. Bishop's Brook Bridge down here. Yeah, they've got a little train icon on them. Okay. I'm actually gonna break open the. This is a player reference thing that I've got printed off. Break open the actual rule book here because it's not immediately jumping out at me. How we get Dunwich Horror. Aha. Okay. Now I see. Okay, so these are vortexes, these 3 spaces, and anytime a monster enters a vortex, it returns to the monster cup. We raise the terror level by 1, and 1 Dunwich Horror token is added to the track here. So, Easy enough. And I think with that, I have refreshed myself on the rules. So, let's talk about what's going on in this game. We're not going to do a full rules explanation by any means because there's just a silly amount of stuff in this game. But we're a team of 4 investigators: Roland Banks, Leo Anderson, Mary Lambeau, and Akachi Anyele. We are in Arkham. We each start at a certain location on the board. There, here, here, and up here. And on our turn, we're going to be moving around, collecting clues, and using clues to seal gates. A gate's going to open on the board here as the final part of setup. Gates are going to spit monsters out at us and add Doom to the Doom track down here. If we hit 13 Doom on this track, then Cthulhu wakes up. So we are playing against Cthulhu. He's got a variety of things on here that we'll go over in a little bit, but if we get 13 Doom on his track, he's going to wake up, and we're going to have to fight him, and, maybe we can shoot Cthulhu in the head with a shotgun, or probably he'll just eat us all and we'll die. Other things that cause Cthulhu to awaken and trigger the end of the game are, in a 4-player game, if there are 7 open gates on the board at the same time, then that ruptures the fabric of space-time and Cthulhu wakes up. If we would have to draw a monster, but there are no monsters left in the cup, that seems very unlikely. There's a ton of monsters, so I think we would probably get killed way before that would happen. Or if this terror track reaches 10, that also if the terror level is 10 and the number of monsters in Arkham is twice the normal monster limit. So the normal monster limit in a 4-player game is 7. So if we're completely terrorized and we have 14 monsters on the board, that also awakens our pal Cthulhu. The most likely one of those things will be open gates or 13 Doom on the track. We will talk about what the final battle looks like, assuming we get there. The way that we win this game is, there's a couple of ways. We close the gates, we seal gates, we banish the ancient one. If we close all the gates on the board, and among us we have gate trophies, which are, you take the gates as trophies after you close them. If we have gate trophies equal to or greater than the number of players, so we need to have closed at least 4 gates, and also closed all the gates on the board. That is one way to win. The much more likely way to win is to seal 6 gates. So when you close a gate, by certain ways, you can also seal a gate, which means it will not open again. If we seal 6 gates, we win the game. Or if Cthulhu wakes up and we shoot him, that also wins the game for us. Sealing gates is definitely the way that you will probably win if you are going to win this game. So that's what we're trying to do, right? So, on your turn. So let me grab one of these player boards here. You've got 3 pairs of stats here: speed, sneak, fight will, and lore luck, right? And we've got these little slider things, and you can move those around to determine what your stats for that turn are going to be, right? You can adjust them by X amount of steps, where X is your focus value here, at the beginning of each turn, right? So your speed value is how many spaces you can move on the board, right? So if I had a speed value of 4, and I was, he starts here, you know, I could go like 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, right? Each location counts as 1 step. If you end your turn somewhere where there is a clue, you can pick up the clue. If you run into a monster, you either have to try to evade it, or you have to stop your movement and fight it. And if you end your turn on an open gate, or end your movement on an open gate, you get sucked into one of these other worlds down here, which again are mostly covered up by our player boards due to space issues. But, you know, so like, let's look at this City of the Great Race right here. So if Marie Lambeau ended her movement on a gate that led to the City of the Great Race, she would come here to the left-hand side. Then on her next turn, she would move to the right-hand side. Then on her next turn, she would move back onto the board, back to the gate space of the City of the Great Race, the gate that she came through. Once you do that, then you put one of these little explored markers on that gate to show that you've been through the other world. And when you have that explored marker there, you can try to close that gate. After you close that gate successfully, you can spend 5 clue tokens to seal the gate. And again, that is largely what we're trying to do. Collect clues, seal gates. Deal with other stuff insofar as it gets in the way of us doing those things. So that's the general flow of the game. Like, move around the board, fight monsters, get clues, have encounters. Anytime you end your turn, end your movement on any of these are called I forget what these are called, but these are not locations. They're something else. And then when you end your turn in an actual location space, I've got a whole sideboard full of decks of cards here. There's just if you're curious, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There's like 26 decks of cards on this table next to me. So there are color coordinated decks of cards for each of these like neighborhoods. You draw one of those, you have an encounter. Or instead of doing that, you can encounter the space, which they each have text at the bottom, and they let you do all kinds of stuff, buy items. You can become the deputy up here, you know, all kinds of stuff. And after everybody goes, then there's a mythos phase where we draw one mythos card. Some bad stuff happens. It opens gates. It puts monsters on the board. Puts more clues on the board. It moves monsters around. All that kind of stuff. And we will we'll deal with all of that, you know, as it comes up. But I think that's enough for us to kind of get into it. And by get into it, the first thing I mean is we're going to read a whole bunch of flavor text and look at the items and relationships and backstories and all kinds of stuff that all of our investigators have, because that's kind of half the fun of this game, right? A lot of flavor text, a lot of silly stuff going on here. All right, so each character has X amount of sanity and X amount of stamina. If you lose all your sanity, you go insane and end up at St. Mary's Hospital. We are playing with the Dunwich Horror injury and what are they called? think it's injury and madness cards. So like in the base game, you would discard a bunch of items and all kinds of stuff. This time, you just draw one of these cards and it gives you a permanent disability for the rest of the game because you went crazy or you got injured, right? It'll probably be fine. We're using these dice. The game comes with markers for it, but I personally find it much easier to use dice. So, our first character, or before we get into the characters, let's talk about Cthulhu. Says, Dreams of Madness. While Cthulhu stirs in his slumber, investigators have their maximum sanity and maximum stamina reduced by 1. So, all these max numbers are reduced by 1 for everybody for this entire game. So, let's do that real quick for everybody. Because Cthulhu's just a jerk like that. What a jerk. Wow. Akachi Onyele has 2 hit points. That's probably enough hit points. I mean, no one ever gets punched in this game. It'll be fun. Welcome in. How are you doing tonight? We're just starting up on Arkham Horror here. About to read a bunch of flavor text, etc. And then roll a ton of dice, basically. Okay. So, that's Dreams of Madness. That's his permanent effect. Worshippers. Cthulhu's worshippers often have the Innsmouth look, a sign of monstrous ancestors. Cultists have a horror rating of -2 and a horror damage of 2 sanity. So, cultist enemies, once they show up, they're more powerful because of Cthulhu. And this attack bit here only comes into effect during the final battle, if we get to the final battle. So, up next, we've got Roland Banks, the Fed, and he's got backstory, baby. The story so far, methodical, by the book. If you looked in the Federal Agent's Handbook, you'd find a picture of Roland Banks next to those sections. At least, if it had any pictures, you would. Where other agents found the rules restricting and annoying, Roland took comfort in procedure. It was a relief to have guidelines to follow in any given situation. Well, at least until this latest case. Try as he might, Roland could find no mention in the handbook of what to do when confronted with strange creatures, gates through time and space, or magic spells. This case was rapidly escalating into a fiasco, and if he dropped the ball, losing his job was the least of his worries. Sitting outside the asylum after an interview with yet another demented witness, Roland dropped his battered agent's handbook back into his briefcase inside. At least the agency was sending him some backup. Maybe they could help him make some sense out of this mess. So he starts up in Arkham Asylum. He started with some items. He starts with $3, 2 clues. He has +1 luck. He has a pallid mask, which gives him +2 to evasion checks. He starts with an ally, Basil Elton, who gives him +1 fight and +1 will. Got a cool, like, sailor guy following him around. And he's got this cool knife called an Athame, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Gives him +1 to combat checks, and +3 instead if your opponent has magical resistance, and +6 instead if your opponent has magical immunity. So this is like an anti-magic knife or something. We also have relationships, which we'll circle back to in a little bit, and each character also has their own little backstory card, and it gives them a little personal quest. A lot of which are not, like, technically worth doing, but, you know, it's fun, so whatever. So let's read Roland Banks's backstory, or his personal quest, whatever they call these things. Roland looked through his notes again. This is ridiculous, he said. My report's going to get me locked up in a loony bin. This case has weird cults, magic spells, and the apparent end of the world. All it needs is some demented fishmen or something, and I'll have all the makings for a best-selling novel. Alright, so his his quest is called By the Book. To pass, if you have 5 or more clue tokens, you pass. If you are arrested or driven crazy, i.e. lose all your sanity, then you fail. And pass or fail, you get a permanent effect for the rest of the game from it. So he's trying to get five clues before he is arrested or driven insane. So that's fine. Okay. Up next. Oh, and he also has some ongoing special powers. During the upkeep phase, if he has fewer than 2 clue tokens, he gains a clue token. And if he has less than $2, he gains $1. So why not? Up next, we've got Leo Anderson, the expedition leader. He starts over here at the river docks. His ongoing effect is once per turn, Leo may prevent 1 point of stamina or sanity loss for any investigator. Seems pretty good. The story so far for Leo is what his name is. Anderson took 7 men with him into the Yucatan. 2 came back, more or less. Technically, 3 men made it out of the jungle alive, but Mitch Brown's not exactly himself anymore. As a point of fact, he's a blithering madman now and has already been shipped off to Arkham Asylum. Leo couldn't read the tablets they found in those ruins. Only Dr. Volk could, of the 7 of them. But he's holding the good doctor's notes in his hand. The ones Volk took before he went mad, and before he killed 2 of Anderson's men. Now Anderson's fresh off the boat, and he's got word that Dr. Phillips, the man who organized the Yucatan expedition in the first place, is dead. Phillips is dead, and that leaves Anderson holding the scribblings of a murderous lunatic. Scribblings with today's date circled in blood. Well, that all sounds good. A lot of happy stories going on in this game. So, Leo Anderson starts with... He's got +1 speed. His ally is Foolishness the Cat, who gives him +1 fight, +1 sneak, and +1 luck. I mean, that all seems really good. It's a cool cat he's got with him. He's got a Cavalry Saver, which gives him +2 to combat checks. And he's got an Elephant Gun, which he can exhaust before making a combat check to gain +8 to that check. But it does not refresh unless you spend $2. So it's like, it costs you money to buy ammo for it, but it's really, really big when you do shoot it. And his backstory is, listen, I won't lie to you. This is going to make the Yucatan look like a cakewalk. Leo tugged his collar straight and leaned forward. But this ain't no lie either. I need you. Arkham needs you. Hell, the world needs you. We're not after riches, and we're not after a lost civilization this time. We're out to save the world, plain and simple. Are you with me? All right. If Leo has 3 or more allies, he passes his mission. If an investigator is devoured or the terror level reaches 4, he fails. Easy enough. Sorry, give me just a second here. Okay. So, that's Leo. Up next, we've got Mary Lambo, the Entertainer. Her powers are Witch Blood. Once per game, at the start of your turn, remove 1 Doom token from the Ancient One's Doom track. I mean, that seems pretty good. Whoop. Let me update my stream info here. Someone just informed me that it still said Aeon's End. Do. And we can't have that, you know? Okay. We should be updated now. All right. Mary Lambo. Once per game, at the start of your turn, remove one Doom token from the Ancient One's Doom track. And third eye. Marie has a third hand, usable only for casting spells. All right, why not? The story so far. Marie Lambo always had a voice to die for. People called her the Smoky Velvet. Wow, simmer down, people. They said she was born to sing jazz, that she had the magic touch, and maybe they were right. Once, Marie heard of a man who could make the dead dance when he played his trumpet. She never could do that. Her voice wasn't magic that way. But when people hear it, they like it, and they like her, and that suits her just fine. Marie's grandma just passed away. Why the old dame moved from New Orleans to Arkham, Marie never knew. Anyway, she never paid much attention to the stories people told about the old woman. She just figured they were jealous. But now, she's sitting in Ma's boarding house, holding her grandmother's knife, and she can hear it singing with a voice like smoky velvet. All right. And her backstory is, or her mission, personal story? I can never remember what these things are called. Maybe it was a sin. Marie didn't know. What she did know was that her grandma, had been a good woman with a good heart. But maybe grandma had been a witch too. She did a little of the swamp magic, made a few gree-gree, love charms, women's magic, that sort of thing. It never hurt nobody. Only, maybe it did. And maybe Marie was a witch now too, whether she wanted to be or not. All right? So, each time Marie Lambo draws a spell, put a clue token on this card. If there are 2 clue tokens on this card, you pass. If there are 5 Doom tokens on the Doom track, you fail. Alright, so we need to get some spells with her. She starts with $4, 2 clues, an enchanted knife that gives her +3 to combat checks. She is brave. She can exhaust this to reroll a horror check. And she starts with 3 spells. Excuse me. Fist of Yog-Sothoth. Says, cast and exhaust to gain +X to combat checks until the end of this combat, where X is the number of successes you rolled on your spell check. All right. The Yellow Mist. You may cast and exhaust. For each success on your spell check, you may return 1 monster from the outskirts to the monster cup. All right. And the Voice of Ra. You may cast and exhaust to gain +1 to all skill checks for the rest of this turn. All right. Those things seem fine. And last but not least, we've got Akachi Onyele. Guardian of the Veil says it costs Akachi 1 less clue to seal gates, so it only costs her 4 instead of 5, which seems really good. And Akachi gains a +1 bonus to all skill checks to close or seal a gate. In addition, Akachi may always seal gates, regardless of any other game effects. I mean, that all seems good. The story so far. For as long as Akachi can remember, she was trained to be the tribe's next shaman. Studying at the feet of the old shaman, she learned how to speak to the spirits, how to read the bones of the earth, and how to avoid the fell creatures that dwelt in the dark places. All seem like useful things. Her education was supplemented by tutoring from an earnest young missionary. Her mentor allowed the man to teach her as long as he taught her English and other modern topics in addition to trying to convert her to Christianity. As for his religion, Akachi was uninterested, for she had already learned many of the great secrets of lore and felt the power of the old ways. Recently, her old mentor called her to his bedside. His face was pale and gaunt. Akachi, I have seen that a great trial is coming for you. You must go to the United States to a city called Arkham. There you will have to face one of the old creatures using the things that I have taught you. Weeks later, as she opens the door to Ye Olde Magic Shop, Akachi hopes that she can meet the challenge that lies ahead of her. Alrighty. And her personal quest thing. Says, the bones of the earth were strong here in Arkham. They responded to her queries with a quivering eagerness that almost made her nervous. But she knew that this was an advantage that she couldn't afford to squander. She would need all of her power to face the old one. And to pass her quest, she needs to get 3 gate trophies. She starts with 1, so she needs to get 2 more. And she fails if any investigator spends a gate trophy for any reason. All right. And she starts with a couple of things. +1 will is the skill that she starts with. She starts with the Gladius of Carcosa, a magical weapon. Gives you +4 to combat checks, or +5 if your other hand is empty. And she's got 2 spells. Bless says you may cast and discard to choose one investigator. That investigator is blessed. And Alchemical Process, you may cast and exhaust to gain $3. All right, well, seems fine. So I think the last thing we need to look at before we start is these relationships that we have. So this one says Skullcrackers, and the 2 characters that each of these are between are the 2 characters that are related in this way. This says either you or your partner may exhaust this card before making a combat check to gain +1 to that check. Seems good. This one says Business Associates. After the initial setup, anytime either you or your partner gains $1 or more from any game effect other than this card, the other gains $1. This one says Students of the Arcane. After the initial setup, anytime either you or your partner gains a spell, the other draws a random spell from the spell deck. Seems good. And this one says Courageous Inspirations. Either you or your partner may exhaust this card before making a horror check to gain a +1 to the check. All right. So, I apologize in advance for the many mistakes that I will make in this game. There's just a ton of stuff all over the place in this game. So, I will probably forget many things. But all that being said, we're just going to get into it. So, the final bit of setup is... Where is it? Draw and resolve a Mythos card. Remember to place a Doom counter on the Ancient One's track. Okay. So we've actually got 2 Mythos decks here. The base game, or the regular game Mythos cards, and then the Dunwich Horror expansion Mythos cards. Each Mythos phase, we're going to roll a d6, and on a 5 or a 6, we'll draw from the Dunwich cards. But for this first one, we're just going to draw one off the top. Okay? Let me double check. Okay. So, this says... open gate and spawn monsters. Alright, so we open a gate at the Witch House. Which... where is the Witch House these days? There it is. Alright. A clue appears at the Black Cave, which is right here. And it's an environment, the Man in Black. Investigators who end their movement in the French Hill streets may deal with the Man in Black to gain power. So, these are streets, as it turns out, these areas here. So if we end up here, we'll put a number token there to remind ourselves that this exists. They roll dice equal to their current sanity, and for every failed die, they lose 1 sanity. If this reduces them to 0 sanity, they are devoured, and the player must start a new character. Otherwise, they gain 1 clue and draw 1 spell. That seems risky. We do also spawn a monster, I believe. Place it at the location. Okay. Yep. So we draw a random monster and it comes out of the gate that just opened. It is a Proto-Shoggoth. This -2 is how hard it is to evade. And then when you fight it, it's got text here. This, you have to make a horror check to see if it makes you lose sanity. And then this is how hard it is to fight. And when you get hit by it, that's how many hit points of health you lose. So that guy shows up there. And we put 1 Doom on the Doom track. And Cthulhu is happy about it. Alright, so let's see. So Roland Banks is first player. First player just rotates each round. This gate goes to another dimension, which is right here. It's got all 4 color icons on it, which means it can be any difficulty, basically, when you go in there. Like the Great Hall of Solano only has blue and green, which means it's slightly easier. This Relaya only has red and yellow, which means it's harder, you know. So someone's going to want to go in there for sure. Probably Akachi Unyele. Oh, you know what? We need to set all of our stats also. Because, you know, why wouldn't we set all of our stats? Probably everybody starts maxed out on speed. And we'll just go from there. Speed, +3 to combat checks. Lore. Heck, I don't know. We're doing stuff. Okay. So now, Roland Banks has 4 movement speed. And he wants to get clues. And you have to end your movement somewhere to get clues. The only place on the board with 2 clues is this black cave. And 1, 2, 3, 4. He can get there, so he's going to go pick up those clues. Easy enough. He's up to 4 clues. And now, movement, Arkham encounters. Oh yeah, we do all the encounters after everybody moves, basically. Let me double check and make sure, like when you fight and stuff. Yeah, okay. So like if he ran into a monster right now, he would fight right now. And then we do encounters for everybody after everybody moves and fights, basically. So Leo, he wants to get allies. He starts with 1. He wants to get 2 more. So allies and clues are kind of what he's got going on. He's got some decent weapons, so he doesn't really care about getting tooled up on weapons currently. He's got 5 movement because this gives him +1 speed. So, where can you get allies these days? Ma's Boarding House says, recruit, instead of having an encounter here, you may spend 10 toughness worth of monster trophies, 2 gate trophies, or 5 toughness worth of monster trophies and 1 gate trophy to take any one ally of your choice from the ally deck. Seems like a steep cost that we can't even come close to paying right now, so maybe we'll just grab some clues instead. He's going to come here to the unnameable, grab a clue. Marie Lambeau. Yep, okay. Marie Lambeau probably just grabs a clue also. She's going to come here, grab this clue. And Akachi Unyele is going to try to get into this gate. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now she could try to sneak past this Proto-Shoggoth by evading it. When you evade a monster, I believe, let me double check. Where is it? Where is it? Evading monsters. Evade skill check. Use your sneak skill with sneak and evade skill bonuses, modified by the monster's awareness rating. If you fail, you take that much damage, and then you have to fight it anyway. So she is going as fast as she can, which means her sneak is as low as it can be at 1, and this guy has a -2, so she would roll 0 dice. So she's just going to fight this guy instead. So we flip this over, and he's got physical resistance, which means he would take half damage from non-magical weapons, but her Gladius of Carcosa is magical, so easy enough. First, we have to make a horror check to see if this Proto-Shoggoth does sanity damage to us. Which... you use your will there. Our will is 1 currently, which isn't great. We do have +1 will, so it's 2. And this this guy has a 0 modifier to that. So that number is how many dice you get to roll, how many d6s you get to roll, and you need to roll a 5 or a 6. So she rolls 2 dice, and she needs to roll a 5 or a 6. She failed to roll a 5 or a 6. Let me see. Either you... oh, you know what? Okay. We're also going to use Courageous Inspirations because we forgot we had it. Either you or your partner may exhaust this card before making a horror check to gain +1 to the check. So we get to roll 1 more die. We still failed, and that is exhausted now. So we take 2 sanity damage, which, great, why not? Oh, you know what? I was wrong. We take 2 wounds. It takes 3 wounds to kill this guy, is what the 3 blood drops are. So if we fail a combat round against this guy, we take 2 damage. Spoilers, it only takes 2 damage to kill her, so maybe we didn't think this through very well. Maybe we didn't think this through very well. Yeah. All right, so before we do more of this, she's going to cast this Bless spell. It says casting modifier -1. So we use our lore -1, so that's 4. It costs us 2 sanity. Woof. This is this is not going great so far. We need to roll 1 success here. We did it. So we discard this bless. And she becomes blessed. Which means 4s are successes for her. So before we do... We're going to reroll the horror check now that we have blessed ourselves. We're rolling it back a little bit because, you know, we're just getting back into it a little bit. All right, so we roll 3 dice, because of the courageous inspirations. We need to roll a 4 plus. Okay, we passed it this time, so we don't take 2 sanity damage. And now we are going to... so we get +5 to our fight from this Gladius, and our fight is 4, so we're rolling 9 dice. 7, 8, 9. 4s, 5s, and 6s are successes. We need 3 successes to kill this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We successfully killed this Proto-Shoggoth. We take it as a trophy. It is 3 toughness worth of trophies, which seems fine. And now we get slurped into another dimension here. And we will have... I'm going to put these... we're going to rearrange this as necessary. Again, it's just too much stuff to fit on my camera. But, you know, we're trying. We're going to make it work. If anyone has any questions about anything or wants to see, you know, see equipment up close or anything, feel free to ask, and we will, I'll certainly let you know what's going on. All right, so now we're going to have encounters because everyone is done moving and fighting. Oh, technically, she doesn't come through here yet. Okay. So, if you are at an Arkham location with no gate, you can either choose to resolve the text on the location you're in, or you can just encounter the location. Also, just as an aside, I got these cool Cthulhu-y looking, like marbled black and gray dice with green pips. They may or may not show up very well on camera. Hopefully they show up well enough. But, you know, I bought a giant pile of them to use specifically with this game, so hopefully they show up well enough. Oh, yeah, she picks up this clue also. Okay, so Roland Banks is in the Black Cave. He is going to have an encounter with the Black Cave. That's not the right deck. So many decks of cards. Okay. You come across an old brass lantern lying on its side deep within the cave. Miraculously, it is unbroken. You may search the common item deck and take a lantern card. All right. I mean, nothing wrong with that. Get out this giant deck of cards here. Find ourselves a lantern. Got to be one in here somewhere. So many items. So many items of dubious use. Alright, so the lantern says +1 to luck checks. So he's actually got +2 luck now. Because he's just a lucky dude like that, you know? Alright. Leo Anderson is going to encounter the Unnameable, which looks like a haunted house of some kind. Alright. A stranger approaches and struggles to explain the nature of the creature inside the house. Pass a lore check to understand his garbled words and gain 1 clue token. Alright, so our lore is 1. Also, Leo is going to have blocked 1 sanity damage to Akachi. Just as a thing. He can do that once a round. Alright, so if we roll a 5 or a 6, we get a clue. We rolled a 6. The madman successfully told us something, and we got a clue. Seems alright. Alright. Marie Lambeau is in the Silver Twilight Lodge. She could... if you have a Silver Twilight membership, then you look at the Inner Sanctum entry when having encounters here. She is not a member, so instead... says, the members are extremely concerned about something regarding the celestial bodies being changed by some outside force. Pass a sneak -2 check to gain 2 clue tokens. If you fail, you are pushed out into the street. Alright, so her sneak is 1. So she rolls 0 dice and fails. You can also spend a clue. Anytime you're rolling dice for a check, you can spend a clue to roll another die. So even if you're at like -8 or whatever, you can spend a clue to roll a die. But clues are extremely valuable. You really want to use them to seal gates. So, you know, she's just gonna let that one ride. So Akachi Onyele now is slurped into another dimension, and we draw one of these. Many other world cards. And for example, this one says Solano. Read all this. Anything else, discard this card and draw again. So a lot of these are just discarding and redrawing. Maybe not a lot, but like you've got to match one of the colors in the other world that you're in. If you do that, you resolve the thing, unless it specifically says that it's looking for, you know, like a specific place like that one was. All right. This one says, so we're not in the Plateau of Lang, we're not in the Dreamlands. Other. The shadow entity gives up chase. Lose 1 stamina from exhaustion. All right, well, she's down to 2 hit points. Seems like a totally fine amount of hit points. Wait. Wrong person. She's down to 1 hit point. Seems like a totally fine amount of hit points. So next turn, she'll move to the second step. The turn after that, she'll come back out here. I don't know if there's a way for her to get more hit points, but 2 seems like she's going to be in a world of hurt. Basically all the time. Okay, so everybody has done their encounters. Now we do the Mythos phase. So the first thing that happens is player 1 draws a Mythos card. We rolled a 4, so we draw it from the regular deck. No one can help you now. Gates cannot be sealed, although they can still be closed. All right, well, that's unfortunate. A clue appears in the woods. Where are the woods these days? Woods are down there. A gate opens at the Unnameable. I don't remember what happens if a gate opens underneath somebody. I think they get sucked into it. But let me check. Investigators are immediately moved to the corresponding otherworld and delayed. Monsters are never drawn through gates. Okay? So, Leo gets sucked into the abyss. And he gets delayed, which you would normally show by laying someone down. But since everybody is laying down, we'll put a Elder Sign token on him. That just means next turn he doesn't move. We spawn a monster there. It is a Gug. Boy, that guy is silly looking. Overwhelming 1 says, I caught confused glimpses of a terrible, wrongly angled mouth, multi-jointed arms, and protruding eyes as big as a man's head. Boy, this thing hits you for 4 damage. Nasty. Okay. Also, you use these symbols here to move monsters that are on the board. That guy doesn't match either of those symbols, so he doesn't move. But like if he was here and he matched the top symbol, he would move along this white line to there. If he matched the bottom symbol, he would move along that to there. So they move around the board. All right, and we can't seal gates, which sucks big time. Akachi can always seal gates, so, you know. Unfortunately, we forgot that she wanted to have clues before she went in there. So, you know, we're playing poorly so far, but that's fine. Oh, also, we get a Doom on there. And blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's it. First player rotates. And we keep on rolling. Leo Anderson just becomes delayed. Marie Lambeau, I guess, wants to get a spell, maybe. Instead of having an encounter, you may pay $5 to draw 2 spells. Keep one of them. So she's only got $4. So, I mean, I guess she's just going to go grab some clues instead. So she's, oh, and all right. So your focus value here, you can use that to adjust these sliders. I think she's fine with where her sliders are at, though. Actually, she'll bump down to have a little bit of sneak, and then go 1, 2. Never mind. She'll stay at 4 speed because she wants to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Come down to the woods, get these 2 clues. She's up to 5 clues. Akachi Onyele moves to the second step of another dimension. Roland Banks wants 1 more clue. Where's he at these days? He's here. Excuse me. So he's going to go there. Grab this clue. And he has 5 or more clue tokens, so he has passed his quest. It says, heck with it. Rolling through the handbook in the trash. That does it. I'm just going to have to make this up as I go along. Roland's intuitive ability now gives him a clue if he has fewer than 4 clue tokens instead of 2. So, anytime he's got 3 or less clue tokens here, he gets a free clue, which seems extremely good. Alright, so that's everybody moved. So we do some counters. Leo Anderson is going to encounter something in the Abyss. Like, technically, we should do Arkham and then Outer Worlds. We're just going to do it in turn order, though. Alright, so it doesn't match either of those. We're looking for red or blue here. Blue, the Abyss. The vast, desolate landscape gives you no sense of progress. You walk for what seems days, and yet you see nothing growing closer. Nothing fading away as you move further away from it. Lose 1 sanity. All right, well. Lost in the plains of the Abyss. Sometimes that happens to a person. Marie Lambeau is going to encounter something in the woods. Let's see what she gets. You stumble across the Sheldon gang and experimenting with a still. One of them threatens you, but you convince him that a nip from the still will keep their whereabouts a secret as far as you are concerned. Pass a will -1 check to search the common item deck for a whiskey card. All right. So our will is 2. So we're rolling 1 die because it's a will -1. We need a 5 or a 6. We rolled a 4, so we don't get any free whiskey. But we also don't get beat up by the Sheldon gang, so it's all right. Oh, speaking of which, I forgot to do this during the upkeep phase. But this blessing, during the upkeep phase, you have to roll a die, and if you roll a 1, you're not blessed anymore. We rolled a 2. We are still blessed. So, Akachi, ho there, what's this? Pass a luck -1 check to gain a common item. All right. Her luck is 0, so she fails to find an item. Great. Okay. Roland Banks is in the graveyard. You see a child dancing among the graves. Following her, you find that she has vanished, but she's led you straight to something interesting. Lose 1 sanity and make a luck -2 check. Lose 1 sanity. Our luck is 6, so we're rolling 4 dice. We rolled 1 6. We have passed. If you pass, draw 1 unique item. If you fail, draw 1 common item. All right. Let's see what we found in the graveyard. The Livre de Ivan. Definitely pronounced that correctly. It's a tome. Movement. Discard and spend 2 movement points to make a lore -2 check. If you pass, search the spell deck for a spell of your choice and take it. Then discard this card and lose 2 sanity. If you fail, nothing happens. All right. Seems not super useful for him, but maybe for somebody. Also, I don't honestly remember if this is a house rule or not, but anywhere where you can shop, I play that you can sell items for half their value. I think that's a house rule, but you get a lot of random garbage that you will never ever use in this game. So, Okay, so that's all the encounters. We are going to do a Mythos card now. We rolled a 1. Eventually we will get something going on the Dunwich board, I'm sure. 7 for a secret never to be told. It's an environment, so we discard the previous environment that didn't let us seal gates, so that's good. During the upkeep phase, the first player rolls 2 dice. If the sum of the result is 7, each investigator with no clue tokens gains 1 clue token and loses 1 sanity. All right. Clue appears at the science building. A gate opens up at Wizard's Hill. Aha. Speaking of the expansion board, we get a monster in there. It is a servitor of the outer gods. Which basically looks like a puddle of goo and bones and stuff. Wow. Wow, this guy's bad. Nightmarish 2, Overwhelming 1, Endless. If you fail a combat or evade check against a servitor of the outer gods, you are devoured. So you're just instantly dead. That seems very bad. He moves here. This guy doesn't move. That's all the monsters. Wow, okay. No one doesn't have any clues. We're going to roll to see if we become unblessed. We are still blessed. Don't think anything else happens during the upkeep phase. Oh, also, Leo is going to block Roland from losing that sanity. Got to remember to do that each round. Okay. And first player comes back over here. We also got one Doom on the board. Doom. Let me see. A Doom Troken. Draw a random gate. Yeah, okay. Alright. So, first player rotates. What's Marie Lambeau doing these days? She's got a bunch of clues, so she could try to sneak past this. He's in the abyss, huh? So, Leo's already in the abyss. So, like, she could try to get down here to Wizard's Hill and go to Lost Carcosa and try to seal that gate. Alternately, I mean, she's still only got $4, which isn't enough. Isn't enough to get a spell. So, 1, 2. Maybe she goes to the science building. Instead of having an encounter here, you may spend 5 toughness worth of monster trophies to gain 2 clues. Well, she doesn't have any monster trophies. Hey, Eclectic Camel. Thanks for the follow. How are you doing this evening? Playing some Arkham Horror here. Got the Dunwich Horror expansion. It only barely fits on the camera. Just a big old game here. How are you doing this evening? What you up to? I'm trying to figure out what Marie Lambeau here wants to do. I think maybe she just keeps getting clues. Because she doesn't have actually, maybe she's got 4 movement. 1, 2, 3. So she wants to come up here to the curiosity shop and see if she can get a cool magical item or something. So 1, 2, 3, 4. She'll stop here. Oh, and get a clue while she's moving through. Yeah, I actually had never played this game until maybe last year or year before that. But I worked out a trade for all of it, all the expansions, everything. And it's just a really insane amount of stuff. I've never played with more than one expansion at once. Usually I do like one large expansion and one small box expansion, but there wasn't even room to do a small box expansion, so we're just rolling with the Dunwich Horror here. All right, Akachi comes back out onto the board here, puts an explored token down. She's going to see if she can't close that gate. Roland Banks. What's he up to? I think Roland might come down here to Dunwich and try to seal this gate. Also, this clue went away when that gate opened up. Getting past this guy is going to be real spicy because that guy just instantly kills you if you fail to get by him, which is real scary. So we got 4 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to come up to the train station. So next turn, he can spend $1 to travel down here. Leo Anderson moves forward in the abyss. Yeah, it was crazy the amount of expansion stuff. Like I think a couple like you the base game by itself seems kind of lacking without at least one expansion. So like the Dunwich Horror expansion and maybe like one small box expansion will kind of get it up to so you're not seeing the same cards every game, you know. But beyond that, they just went really, really off the deep end with the amount of stuff they released for this game. All right, so have some encounters here. Marie Lambeau, where did she end up? She's up there on the Unvisited Isle. So let's see what's going on this cool island. Walking into a clearing, you feel that you are at the center of a web of enormous magical energy. You may return one gate token in play to the gate token pile, replacing it with a new gate token from the top of the pile. Monsters are returned to the cup as though you had closed the gate. Wow, okay. Well, we don't want to do that to this one or this one, because that would leave him like stranded in outer space. But we'll definitely return this one because that's -2, which isn't great. So we'll draw a new one and see if we can get something easier. Well, it's -1, so, you know, it's one better. All right. Welcome in, everybody. Playing some Arkham Horror here tonight. Rolling some dice, getting killed by proto-Shoggoths and all that fun stuff. Who wouldn't want to do that? All right. So Akachi Onyele now can either fight or what are the two things you can do to close this gate? Remember. So let me check. Make a lore or fight check with the modifier of the gate. There's no effect on a fail. Okay. So our lore is 5 and our fight is 4. So we'll make a lore check. And the modifier on here is +0. So we're just rolling 5 dice. And she's blessed. So she needs to roll at least one 4+. We successfully closed the gate. Yay. All right. So we take this as a trophy. Any monsters that have a square on them are sucked back into this gate as it closes. So we get rid of this Servitor of the Outer Gods, which is nice because that guy was very scary. Philbo, how are you doing tonight? Welcome in. Yeah, we got a whole situation going on here. This is so my camera is literally as far up as my rig will let it go, and this like still 100% fills the frame. This game is totally ridiculous. And not only physically is it sprawling like that, but just like the amount of stuff is just all over the place in this game. Okay, so she closed a gate. Great. She is 2/3 of the way through completing her Bones of the Earth quest, which seems good. Unfortunately, she does not have 4 clues to seal that gate because we forgot that she needed to get clues before she went in there. But, you know, what are you going to do? Roland Banks is up in the train station, so he's going to have an encounter of some kind. Let's see what happens at the train station. Bill Washington comes up to you and offers to sell you a rail pass. Just $3, and you can ride the train all you want for a month. If you accept, pay $3 and take a rail pass card. I guess that begs the question of what the heck a rail pass does. So, rail pass? I know I saw those while I was setting up the 20-some decks of cards over here. Did I see rail passes? Bank loan, Silver Lodge membership, retainer. Well, let me check the auxiliary stack of weird cards over here. Rail pass? Question mark, question mark. So much stuff. Maybe it's in the... Maybe it's in this giant deck of standard item cards. Like, basically, I just want to see what it is before I decide if it's worth spending $3 on. Rail pass, come on. Don't you want to exist somewhere, Mr. Rail Pass? Well, maybe it's not in here. It's not jumping out at me if it is in here. Alright, well. Like, I definitely saw that card as I was setting all this stuff up. But I seem to have lost it amongst the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I seem to have lost the rail pass among the 28 different stacks of cards on this table over here. So, we're probably just going to say we don't want a rail pass since we can't find a rail pass. I really thought it was in this stack, but yeah, so we're just not going to, actually, you know what? We'll say we take the rail pass, and I'm pretty sure it just lets you ride the rails for free instead of spending $1 on it. He's going to want to go down here anyway, so it's fine. Also, he gets $1 back during the upkeep phase, and we'll give him a... There you go. That's his rail pass. We found it. All right. It's the danger of having this many stacks of cards for a game like this. Okay. Leo Anderson is going to encounter something in the abyss. Let's see what we get. Looking for a red or a blue card. A large mirror stands before you. Your reflection bears an unfamiliar mark upon its forehead. Make a will +0 check. If you pass, the mark fades from the reflection. If you fail, it remains and you are cursed. Well, that's really bad. Yeah, that one's really bad. Our will is 1, so look at that. The clutch, not fail. Collect a camel. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, stream Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern. And I stream Marvel Champions on Mondays. So more than welcome to come back. Love for you to hang out. Get some good Marvel hangouts in. So, you know, hope to see you back, and I'll definitely be back when I can, when time, you know, work schedules and what am I trying to say? Time zones permit me to catch your streams. I love some good Marvel hangouts, you know. All right, Marie Lambeau already did something on the island. All right, so that's all the things. So we do the upkeep phase. He gets $1. We roll a die to see if we become unblessed. We do not become unblessed. And we do some mythos stuff. First off, we get a doom over here. Yeah, thanks, man. We'll see. I'm guessing we're all going to get devoured by Cthulhu in the end, because that's kind of what happens in this game. But, you know, we're going to do what we can. Okay, so now we draw a mythos card from the Dunwich Horror deck. Nightmare Pool. When this card enters play, place 3 sanity tokens per player on it. Any player may pay sanity while in the uptown streets during the Arkham Encounters phase. All right, so Uptown Streets. Where's Uptown? Uptown Streets. There we go. To remove sanity tokens from this card on a 1-for-1 basis. Place 1 sanity token per player on this card at the end of every Mythos phase. If there are no sanity tokens on this card, return it to the box. If there are 6 sanity tokens per player on this card, return it to the box. Immediately draw and resolve 3 more Mythos cards, one after another. Ooh. Okay. Great. A gate opens at Wizard's Hill. There's already a gate there, so instead we have a monster surge, which means we put monsters on the board equal to the number of currently open gates or the number of players, whichever is higher. So we get 4 monsters. And you evenly distribute them throughout the currently open gates, basically. So we're going to get 2 up here and 2 down here. So up here down here we got Child of the Goat. Child of the Goat is treated as a cultist. All right. And a Dark Young, which is just real nasty all around. And up here we got a Lang Spider. It does 4 damage to you if it hits you, which seems bad. And a Cultist. And then some stuff moves. These guys with the dash move here to the Merchant District, which makes her sad because she's going to have to sneak by them if she wants to get out of there. And this guy moves here. Okay, and this gets 12 sanity tokens on it currently. Or put this one, we'll put it right here. And it gets, what was it? It gets 4 sanity on it a turn. And once there are 24 sanity on this, bad stuff's going to happen. Everyone is pretty low on sanity, so it seems unlikely that we're going to be able to pay that much sanity into that to keep that from happening. So that's probably fine. Everything's probably fine. 3 turns from now, bad stuff's going to happen. All right. First player comes over to Akachi. She's got 1 health, which is bad. You may recover stamina. You may regain 1 sanity. Okay, so she's going to come down to St. Mary's Hospital and try to get her 1 health back, because like actually she kind of probably wants to go get these clues instead. So 1, 2, 3, because that gives her enough clues to seal a gate, which is what we really want to try to do. Science building. Okay. Because, yeah, she can try to come here, assuming she can sneak past all the monsters in the world. Oh, he's already in there. So. Well, anyway, she got clues. Okay. Roland Banks now is going to use his rail pass to come down here for 1 movement point. He's got 3 more movement points. So how bad is this guy for us? Okay, so this guy's nightmarish. So let's see what that does. Nope. Nightmarish. If the investigator passes a horror check, he still loses X sanity. Okay. So even if we pass this horror check, we will still lose 1 sanity. And then we're going to have to fight that guy. Yeah, I mean, we'll take a shot at him. Why not? Oh, and he's physically resistant also. We get half our normal bonus rounded up. Okay, so maybe we just try to evade this guy instead. But our sneak's only at 1, so yeah, I mean, all right. So our will is 2, 3. Our will is 3, so we need 1 success here, or else we instantly go insane. Look at that, 3 successes. We still take 1 sanity damage, which, you know, we use Leo's leadership to prevent that sanity damage. And then we're going to roll 4, 5, 6 dice, and we need 3 successes. 1, 2, 3 successes. Easy enough. We set them up and we knock them down here, folks. They call me Ben Snoozin'. Okay. Leo is going to pop back out of the abyss. Right here. And where'd... Yep, there it is. We don't have to fight this cultist this turn. So if we're still there next turn, well, we will still be there next turn, but we'll have to deal with that guy next turn, basically. We can choose to fight this guy if we want, I guess. So let me see. Do we want to fight this guy? He's got -2, and he does 2 horror damage. So we will choose not to fight this guy, because he's probably going to do bad stuff to our sanity if we do fight him. And maybe we'll try to sneak past him next turn. Or something. Yeah, we'll worry about that next turn. Okay. Marie Lambeau. Ooh, speaking of sneaking past stuff. So, she's got to try to sneak past both of these guys. And these guys have ambush and overwhelming, so let's see what those do. Ambush. Once combat has begun, the investigator cannot flee. Okay? Overwhelming. If the investigator defeats this monster, they still lose X stamina. So even if we kill both of these guys, we'll still take 2 damage. Which seems really bad. So maybe she's just going to hang out in the unvisited aisle. So next turn she can bump this down 1 more to get her sneak maxed out and try to sneak past these guys. Let me see what her... yeah, she could spend sanity to get like +1 to all checks for a turn, but anyway, she's just gonna hang out on that cool island for a minute and try to not get completely massacred by those monsters. And what's Akachi Onyele want to do with herself? She's got 5 speed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She could get up to Herb's Roadhouse or Independence Square. Get some clues. Doesn't seem bad. Or she could come down to the Historical Society, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. She's just hoovering up clues, waiting for a gate to open up, basically. So there's 2 clues up here and only 1 down here. So she's going to come up here to Herb's Roadhouse. Grab a clue. And I think we skipped her being the first player and went to Roland Banks because Roland Banks already did stuff. Which is fine. I mean, turn order doesn't super matter most of the time. Okay, so now we're going to have some encounters. He's in the streets, so he doesn't have an encounter. Leo Anderson is going to try to close this gate. So it's -2. Our fight stat is 5. So he's going to roll 3 dice, and we need to roll a success here. We have not rolled a success, which is a real shame. So the question is, do we... Like I could spend a clue to try again, or I just have to hang out and try again next turn, which I guess is what we're going to do. Although we will have to fight that stupid monster if we do that, which is fine, whatever. Marie Lambeau hangs out on this island again. Time and space distort around you. A gate and a monster appear. All right. All right. So a skeleton appears, and a gate appears to the underworld. So, I mean, she got out of that island anyway. And this skeleton is undead and has physical resistance, but he's not too bad. All right. What did I say? Where did I say she went? The underworld. Where's the underworld these days? The underworld is on another expansion board, presumably. So we're going to discard that one. Draw a new one. And it's a gate to another dimension. Take that. She comes here. She becomes delayed. Akachi Onyele is at Herb's Roadhouse. A stranger buys you a drink. You may search the common item deck for a whiskey card and take it. All right. Why not? Thanks for the whiskey, dude. Time bomb, axe, handcuffs. Nope. Where's the whiskey? Whiskey. Discard whiskey to reduce any sanity loss by 1. Sure. Why not? And shuffle these up again. That's all the encounters. So we're going to have a Mythos phase here. But before we do that, if y'all give me 1 second, I'm going to grab a water, and I'll be right back. we are back. Back for more Arkham Horror. So, we just finished the player turn, finished all the encounters and whatnot. So we're going to take a Mythos turn now. Welcome in, you guys. How's it going tonight? So, we get a Doom here. Well, you know what? We actually did not get a... shouldn't have gotten a Doom when that monster... whatever they call it. I don't remember the name of it. When there was already a gate there. You only get a Doom when a gate opens. So first off, we're going to get a Mythos card. And we're going to see if we get a Doom. So, we get a regular Mythos card. Amnesiac Professor's Memory Returns. Headline: place 2 tokens in each location with an Elder sign. Great, we don't have any. A clue appears at Gardener's Place or the Unnameable. Where's Gardener's Place? Gardener's Place is right there. And gate opens at Independence Square. So, got another Underworld gate. Unknown Kadath. Kadath? Again, another expansion. The Great Hall of Solano. Hey, there we go. Okay. And we get a Wraith. Undead, physical immunity, nightmarish, and overwhelming 1. Well, those all sound good. Let's see what those things mean. First off, this guy is flying, which, great. Physical immunity. Spells and magical effects providing physical bonuses give no bonus, but she's got a magical weapon, so it's fine. Nightmarish and overwhelming, so you still take damage even if you successfully fight this guy. Looks like a good good person to sneak by. We get 4 more sanity tokens on here, so 2 more turns until a bunch of bad stuff happens. Where's a 4 on this? And some monsters move. Is that a circle or a... Okay, so this guy moves here. That's fine. These guys move here. That guy doesn't move. That guy doesn't move. Okay, easy enough. First player comes over here. What's Leo got going on? First off, Leo is going to have to do something with this cultist. So I guess he's gonna okay. So cultists have a horror rating of -2 and 2 sanity damage on a horror check. So his will is only 1. So even if we bump it all the way up to there, it's still going to be bad. That's going to be bad for our gate closing, right? So maybe we just eat the sanity damage. So it's -2. We're at 1, so we don't roll any dice. We just take 2 damage. We're going to reduce it to 1 with his ability. And then we've got 4, 5, 6, 7 combat. And then this guy gives us +1. So good job. We killed the cultist. Get out of here, cultist. He did do some horror damage to us, which isn't great. But, you know, what are you going to do? Now we're going to try to close that gate. So we get 3 dice. We need a 5 or a 6. We got a 5. We successfully closed the gate. Unfortunately, we only have 4 clues, so we can't seal it, but, you know. So this monster gets sucked back into the other dimension, i.e. the Monster Cup. And on to Marie Lambeau. She is in another dimension, so she becomes undelayed. And that's it for her. We did get a doom when this gate opened. So we lost one from that before, but we got one. So now we're at 4. There we go. I think we're officially back to more or less legal game state here. Akachi now would really like to get up here, but this guy is extremely bad. So cover sanity. So how can she get in there? Also, we forgot to roll to see if she became unblessed. She did not. Okay, so she wants to sneak by this guy, right? +1 to the check. Just seeing what all options we've got here. As far as what we can do to try to get by that guy. Because I think he's too nasty for us to just go in there, because we've only got 1 life. And even if we successfully kill him, we still lose a life. So, you know, that's bad. She's only got 1 focus, which is another thing. So we're going to move that down, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Going there lets us regain 1 sanity, but we'll do that when we get there. So now Roland Banks is going to come here and get slurped off to Unknown Kadith, which doesn't exist on this board. So instead, he's going to get slurped off to Yuggoth. Does that exist? Hey, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I've got all the expansion gate tokens mixed in, so, you know. All right. That's everybody. So now I'll have some encounters. Where's Leo at these days? Leo's in the Unnameable. He already hasn't had his encounter, though, because he closed this gate. That shouldn't have happened until the encounter phase, so he's already done. Marie Lambeau is in another dimension, so you grasp at the thing, but sense that even if you are unable to hold it, the reaching itself will teach you. Make a luck -2 check. Okay. Our luck is 1, so we fail the check. If you fail, take a clue token. All right. I mean, why not? Okay. We got a clue from trying to grasp the thing. Akachi Onyele is going to she could get a sanity back for free, or she could just have an encounter. She'll get a sanity. Seems fine. Next turn, she's going to try to sneak in here. Because she's only got one focus, so that'll get her up to 3 sneak. So hopefully you'll be able to sneak past that guy. Roland Banks is in Yuggoth, so we're looking for a blue or yellow card. We found one. A monster appears. All right. Well, easy enough. Draw up a monster here. It is a maniac. If the terror level is at least 6, he gets stronger. It's not, so we're just going to fight him. Our fight is 4, 5, 6. So, and he gives us a die. So 7 dice. And we need 1 success. We got 1 success. We killed the maniac that appeared. We've got 4 toughness worth of trophies. Seems fine. That's all the encounters. So, now the Mythos phase happens. First off, this goes up to 20. So next turn, we're going to draw and resolve 3 Mythos cards, which seems just wildly bad. But, you know, it is what's going to happen, so. Then we draw a Mythos card. Big storm sweeps Arkham. All monsters in the sky and outskirts are returned to the cup. There are no monsters in the sky, no monsters in the outskirts. A clue appears at the unnameable, which conveniently drops right into Leo Anderson's lap, giving him 5. And a gate opens at Independence Square. So, no doom, but we do get... how many open gates are there? 1, 2, 3. So we get 4 monsters. Because a monster surge happens. So, that, and that. Alright, so this one is a Night Gaunt. When you fail a combat check against this guy, he sucks you through the nearest open gate. These guys are Amigo and a Star Spawn. Just some nasty dudes. Alright. And this one is a Maniac. We just fought one of those. We know those guys. Okay. How many monsters are on the board currently is the question, because there's a monster limit of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that last one, which I think was this Star Spawn, I'm not 100% sure, goes to the outskirts instead. Then, everything with a moon moves. So, that guy moves, this guy moves. Those guys don't move. Oh, and everything with a plus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these 2 guys move. This guy moves here. And this Wraith is flying, and he moves. Move to the connected street area with a player in it. Otherwise, move to the sky. And move to any street location in Arkham next time. Okay, so this guy flies off to the sky. And he will swoop down on somebody the next time he activates. And once the number of monsters in the outskirts exceeds 8 minus the number of players, i.e. 4 in this case, return all monsters in the outskirts to the monster cup and increase the terror level by 1. Okay. So we got one monster in the outskirts. So we need to clear some monsters, or more monsters will go in there, and eventually we'll raise the terror level, which starts like closing locations and running people out of town and stuff. Okay. We roll to see if we become unblessed. We do not. Roland Banks gets $1 because of his expense account. I think that's all the upkeep stuff that we've got. I think so. Okay, so first player rotates. Where's the first player marker? Over to Marie Lambeau. Marie Lambeau moves to the second part of another dimension. Akachi Onyele is at 3 sneak and 3 movement. 1, 2. So she's going to move to 4 sneak and 2 movement. She's going to move here and try to sneak past this guy. So 4 sneak, -1. She's rolling 3 dice, and her successes are 4+. She successfully sneaks past the guy. So she comes here and moves to the Great Hall of Solano. Roland Banks moves to the second part of Yuggoth. Leo Anderson possibly just comes and tries to kill this skeleton. Let's see what this guy's terror stuff says. Or horror, rather. Alright, so he's got physical resistance, and he'll do 1 horror damage to us. So, that's not bad. Yeah, he's going to come here and just try to kill this guy, I guess. And then maybe go in... Oh, no, she's already in there, so he doesn't want to go there. Is there... There's only 3 open gates, so he's basically just killing stuff on the board. Okay, so the first thing he's going to do is... Oh, and he's got 2 focus, so he will bump that up to there. Which lets him roll 2 dice for this horror check. He still fails, so he takes 1 sanity damage. But we're going to reduce that by 1 with his leadership ability. And then he gets 2, 3, 4, 5, -1. So 4 dice. Or instead, I mean, he could use his elephant gun, but that seems kind of like overkill. It's going to hit him for 2 if we fail. So we need 2. We need 2 successes here. We got a 6 and a 5. We successfully killed this skeleton. You love to see it. Okay. So he's just trying to clean up the board a little bit, basically. So that's everybody having moved. So now encounters. Marie Lambeau is in another world. You pass the night in animated conversation with an old man sucking on a clay pipe. When you awaken, the man is gone without a trace, but you do gain 1 clue token from his wisdom. We're stacked with clues here. Akachi Onyele is in the Great Hall of Solano. We're looking for a blue or a green card. Alright. Luck is with you. You stumble on a cache of supplies. Draw 1 common item. She found some handcuffs. Exhaust before making a combat check against occultist, chocho, ghoul, or maniac to automatically pass that check and gain 1 sanity. Alright. Seems alright. Roland Banks is in Yuggoth, so we're looking for a blue or a yellow. That's green. Blue or yellow? Blue or yellow? Alright, we found a Yuggoth card. The light of the stars is gathered here on this distant planet. Curious, you bathe yourself in it and find yourself healed and transfigured. Either restore your stamina to its maximum value or discard one of your injury cards. Alright, cool. We're already at our maximum value, but it's still nice. Okay, so that, and now Leo would have an encounter, but he's in the streets, so no encounter for him. That's all the encounters. So now we'll have a Mythos phase. We roll a 6, which means we get a Dunwich Horror card. Contagion kills life in Blasted Heath. All monsters in the Blasted Heath streets or locations are returned to the cup. Blasted Heath, no monsters. Easy enough. And a gate opens up at the Witch House. Which is... where's the Witch House these days? The Witch House. There it is. Okay. The Plateau of Lang. We get a Doom. We get a monster. It's another Dark Young, so great. Dark Young also never move, so that guy just hangs out there forever. Might have done that wrong before. Okay, so moons and pluses move. So this guy's a moon. This guy's a moon. I think that's it. So this guy is in the sky. So he swoops down to this street location because there's a guy there. And this guy comes here. So they're converging on Leo. Seems fine. Why not? Also, clues appear in 2 places. The Black Cave and the library. Library, Black Cave. Okay. So, Philbo, how are you enjoying the Arkham Horror so far? It's mainly just a lot of silly flavor text and rolling dice. But, you know, I like those things. It is, I think I said earlier, there's like 28 decks of cards on the table over here. It's absolutely insane, the amount of stuff that this game has. Because I've got there's like 8 expansions for it too. So, I've just got a giant pile of stuff. Also, this goes up to 24. Which is real bad. Immediately draw and resolve 3 more Mythos cards, one after the other. I mean, that's like just so bad. Okay. During the Mythos phase, each player whose investigator is in a street area must roll a die. If the result is a 1, the investigator must move to the street area that is reached by following the white arrow. Okay. Clue appears at the Devil's Hop Yard or the Witch House. Is the Devil's Hop Yard on this board? I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it is. So it would appear at the Witch House, but there's a gate there, so it doesn't. And we get a gate at the Waitley Farm. Whoop. Okay, that shows up there, which gives us a Doom. Yeah, I mean, that's like just brutally bad. Squares, triangles, and circles move. Do we have any of those things? Circle, this guy moves. Here. Because why not? Those streets got bad. Okay. Then Blood magic. Investigators who end their movement in the Rivertown streets may choose to delve into dark mysteries using their life force. They roll dice equal to their current stamina. For every failed die, they lose a stamina. They could get devoured. Seems great. Clue appears here. And a monster surge happens at Independence Square, which gets us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 monsters. Seems totally fine. 2, 3, 4, 5. So our monster limit is 7, and we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 already. We're actually at 8, so this guy should have actually gone into the outskirts, and then we get 5 more monsters into the outskirts. Which 1, 2, 3, 4 raises the terror level by 1, and then 3 more monsters go in there. All right. Totally seems 100% fine. And the same thing happens again. Independence Square, clue appears at the unnameable. Wow, okay. All investigators in other worlds areas may immediately return to Arkham. I mean, that's actually pretty good. So, we're going to do that first off. Because that's going to let us get out from under some of this stuff a couple of turns earlier than we normally would have. Yuggeth, right there. And she comes up here. Okay. Where'd the card go? I lost the card. Where did the card go? So many piles of stuff. Here it is. Okay. We get 5 more monsters. So the terror level goes up by 1. And then the terror level goes up by another 1. And there are no more monsters in here. That hit 3, which means the general store closes down. Can't go to the general store anymore. They got scared and left. Some monsters move. This guy. Well. Let me see. Does any monster actually move? These guys move. These guys move this way. So, like, Leo's in a real bad spot for next turn, as it turns out. All the monsters in the entire game decided to come gang up on Leo here. So, that's fine. I mean, why wouldn't that happen, you know? Okay. So, this comes over here. We roll to see if Akachi becomes unblessed. She does not. And, okay. Akachi stays where she's at, because she's going to seal that gate. Roland Banks stays where he's at, because he's going to seal that gate, and he doesn't have to encounter this monster this turn. Leo Anderson is really not into what's going on here. So he's going to try to sneak away from all these monsters by bumping his sneak stat. He also gets +1 sneak from his cool cat ally. And yeah, he's got to sneak by every single one of these guys. So we'll just do it in ascending order of difficulty, I guess. Who? Oh boy, okay. Yeah, this is going to go bad if he fails to sneak here. I think old Leo might be ending up in the hospital after this one. All right, so He's sneaking here. He gets 4 dice. He successfully snuck past the Wraith. He's sneaking past the Maniac. He gets 3 dice. He successfully snuck past the Maniac. Sneaking past the Migo, he gets 2 dice. He did not successfully sneak past the Migo, so now he's going to fight. He takes 1 damage, which he'll reduce by 1. And I'm not actually sure if he has to fight all these guys or if he doesn't have to fight the guys that he snuck past. So give me a second and let me double check the rules on that one. If there is more than one monster in an area, they must be evaded, each in turn, in an order chosen by the player. Choose any combination of stuff. Alright, so I'm going to say that we have to fight all these monsters since we failed to sneak by them. So, we'll just go in ascending order of difficulty here and see how quickly we die, basically. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got 7 base combat. Is that right? Hold on. All right, let's just look at all these guys here. -2. Ugh. Yeah, these guys. This is going to be bad. Okay. -2, -1, -2. Yeah. Okay. So he's got 3 base will dice to try to do these horror checks. So 1 die here. He failed the first one. So he takes 1 sanity damage. We're going to block it. Then he's got 2, 3, 4, 5 dice. -2. So 3 dice. He rolled 1 success. So he takes 2 wounds. And then rolls 3 more dice. He takes 2 wounds. He's dead. So he goes to the hospital. And on his next turn, he's going to wake up there. And he's going to get 1 injury. So, things went bad for our boy Leo in the streets there. That's what happens when all the monsters on the entire board decide to just swarm up on you, as it turns out. Okay. Maria Lambo is here. She's going to try to seal this gate. So she's going to focus down there, which gives her 4 dice. She did it. She spends 5 clues to seal this location. So now if we draw that location for a gate to open up in, a gate will not open up. And we're 1/6 of the way to winning the game by sealing gates. Okay, Akachi Onyele is going to attempt to do the same thing. She's got a -1 penalty on her gate. So she's got 4 fight. She gets a +1 bonus, and it's -1 there, so she's rolling 4 dice. She rolled a 4 and a 5. She did it. She spends 4 clues and seals this gate. She also now has 3 gate tokens. which completes her personal quest. It says, the earth speaks. The bones of the earth spoke to her then, telling her the secrets of how she might be able to defeat the old one, if she were cautious and lucky. Place a clue token in every unstable location without an open gate. All right. So every red location on the board that does not currently have an open gate gets a clue in it. Seems pretty good. Because you need clues. You need clues to close gates, or to seal gates, rather. None down there, so. All right. Seems pretty good. Roland Banks is going to attempt to close this gate. It's got a -2 on it. His fight is 5, so he gets 3 dice. Rolled 6. He did it. He spends 5 clues to seal this. And just like that, we're halfway to winning here. Also, a thing that I forgot is we may or may not kill some monsters by doing this. Any monsters with a circle, a square, or a star get sucked off the board. So this guy, I think just the one. Yep. So alrighty. Not a bad turn, all things considered. Got a bunch of clues on the board. Sealed 3 gates. Seems good. Dropped a die on the floor, that's fine. Okay, so also this clue goes away. Mythos phase. Sheldon Gang turns to police for aid. The Sheldon Gang disturbs a burial mound, releasing 2 monsters into the uptown streets. Clue appears at the unvisited aisle. Look at that. Gives her a clue. You'll have to see it. A gate opens in the graveyard. Out of which a monster appears. And then diamond. No monsters move, so easy enough. We do need 2 monsters in the uptown streets, though. So. Okay. An elder thing and a cultist show up here. So that puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These 2 guys go in the outskirts. Okay. So, oh, and we get a doom from that gate opening. And first player rotates back to Senor Banks here. We roll to see if Akachi becomes unblessed. She does not. Roland gets a free clue from his intuitive. Intuitive ability. And what do we want to do here? I think Roland wants to get up here into this. Well, he would like to get some clues before jumping in there. So there's clues over here. Night Gaunt. If you fail a combat check against a Night Gaunt, you are drawn through the nearest open gate. I mean, that wouldn't be the worst, to be honest. Maybe he just fights this Night Gaunt. Like, he could try to sneak by it. But maybe he just fights it instead. Because then he can come over here and grab clues. There's enough clues down here for him to be able to seal a gate again in a couple of turns. So that's kind of what he wants to do. How many open gates do we have right now? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Leo has enough to seal a gate right now. Marie Lambeau is 1 short. She's also trapped in by all the monsters in the entire universe. So, like, that's not great for her. Yeah, that's not great for her. Because she wants to get out of there, grab some clues, and go seal a gate, right? But she might just be stuck on that island again for a while. Okay, so Roland Banks is just going to fight this Night Gaunt where he's at. Actually, he gets +2 to evasion checks. So 4. Yeah, so he's going to focus over there. So he's got 5 sneak, -2, so he's rolling 3 dice to try to sneak past this guy. He successfully did it. He rolled a 5. So he sneaks away from this Night Gaunt and moves 2 to go 1, 2 to the Cold Spring Glen and grab this clue. Leo wakes up after getting destroyed by all the monsters in the world and suddenly has allergic reactions. If he is in a street area during the upkeep phase, he takes 1 damage because he's allergic to everything in the world now, which is very, very funny. Okay. And he's got 4 speed. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, he can get up here to this Dark Young. Try to sneak past it, maybe? Because it's really bad if we have to fight it, basically. 2. Ugh. 1, 2, 3. Ugh, this Dark Young is no bueno. But I think he's just going to come fight the Dark Young, I think is what he's got going on. Yeah. Why not? What could possibly go wrong? He certainly won't just immediately die or anything. So he's got 4 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he fights the Dark Young. So, this says nightmarish physical resistance, and his will is 2. So he's going to roll 2 dice, and he needs to roll a success. And I don't think he's got anything to get plus anything on that horror check. So look at that. He's not scared of this Dark Young, even though it does have Nightmarish 1, so he still takes 1 sanity damage. Seems fine. I mean, he'll yeah. So he takes 1 sanity damage. Then his fight is 3, 4. He's gonna pop this elephant gun. to get +4. So he's rolling 8 dice, -1. So 7 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He needs 3 successes here. He rolled 1 success, which is not enough successes. So he takes 3 damage. He's going to bump it down to 2 just because he can. And now, I mean, he's going to fight this guy again. He's got to fight this guy again. So this time he gets 3 4 dice, and he needs 2 successes, or else he dies again. He rolled 1 success, which is not enough successes. So our friend Leo dies again. That's fine. I mean, sometimes you just die a bunch of times. So he gets another madness card. Okay. Sorry. Drawing madness cards here. Yeah, okay. There we go. Another madness card for our boy Leo, because, or injury card rather, because things went bad for him. Marie Lambeau, where's she at these days? Right, she's just gonna hang out there because, like, this is a bad scene. She doesn't want to have anything to do with that. Although she does have, I mean, she's got 6 combat, so like she might be able to just wreck all these dudes. Could she just wreck all these dudes? 4, I don't know that she could just wreck all those dudes. So she's just going to hang out there and hope that some of them move off somewhere else. Okay, Akachi, on the other hand, wants to get in here, right? Her speed is not very high currently. Actually, her speed is enough to go 1, 2, 3. Grab this. Then she can come down here and grab that. And that'll give her enough clues to seal the next gate she goes into. And I think that's all we've got. So, encounters. Roland Banks is at Cold Spring Glen down there. Painted faintly upon a stone, you see an image of a primitive figure invoking otherworldly forces. Suddenly, an ominous shadow moves across the stone. Gain 1 spell, and then a monster appears. Alright. So he finds a spell. The spell he finds is Greater Banishment. You may cast and discard to choose 1 dimensional symbol other than the moon. All monsters with that symbol are returned to the monster cup. I mean, that seems really good. It does cost 2 sanity, and he's only got 3 sanity. So let's see what monster appears. Occultist appears. Okay. Cultists are going to yeah, okay. Cultists have -2 horror rating and a horror damage of 2. So his will is 2. His will is 3 because of this ally. So he gets to roll 1 die. He is very scared of this cultist. Takes 2 sanity damage. Then he's going to roll 4, 5, 6, 7 dice. And he needs 1 success. He rolled precisely 1 success, so he killed this cultist. Seems alright. Leo wakes up over here, and now he's got a sprained ankle. -1 to your speed. Alright, so that basically cancels out his +1 speed bonus. Marie Lambeau is still on the island over there, being trapped by all the monsters in the world. Unvisited Isle. You see a group of masked Egyptian cultists performing a hideous ritual in a clearing. If you wish to get closer and listen, make a sneak +0 check. If you pass, draw a spell. If you fail, they look up as one and point at you and know that you are marked. Place a patrol marker on the street area of the merchant district as an aura of unnaturalness surrounds you. What is a patrol marker? Where's the merchant district? Oh, it's got to be here, right? Yep, okay. So let me look up what a patrol marker is, because I don't recognize that name. Patrol marker. Give me 1 second here. Presumably it's part of the yellow sign. Or no, Curse of the Dark Pharaoh. Okay, here we go. If you are instructed to place a patrol marker on a specific street area, do not add a second if there already is one. Each time you attempt to leave or end your movement in a street area with a patrol marker, you must make a sneak check. If you fail, you are arrested. Wow, okay. And if you get arrested, you come here and it basically makes you lose a turn. Because you go to the jail cell, and then on your next turn you move to the police station, and then you come back out here. So, what's her sneak level at these days? Her sneak's at 3, so like, and she wants spells, so you know, we'll do it. Why not? 3, she needs a success here. Hey, she successfully did the thing. So she draws a spell. The spell says Wither. Cast and exhaust to gain +3 to combat checks until the end of this combat. Alright, seems great. And that also lets Akachi Onyele draw a spell. And the spell she draws is Astral Travel. Casting modifier -2, sanity cost 1. When in Arkham, instead of having an encounter, cast and discard to move to the first area of any other world. I mean, that seems pretty legit. Okay. So that is everyone having done their stuff. So now we do the Mythos phase. Step 1, draw a Mythos card. Brutal Accident. The first player must choose one investigator. That investigator loses 3 stamina. Lee. I mean, we'll choose Roland Banks because he's got the most health. Down to 2 health. No problem. What could possibly go wrong? A clue appears at Gardner's place. Where's Gardner's place these days? Well, there's a lot of clues over there. A gate opens up at Wizard's Hill, but look at this. Wizard's Hill is sealed. Haha. Take that. And these guys move. So this guy moves to the sky. This guy moves up here. These two guys stay. Okay. You gotta love it when you successfully seal a thing. And give me 1 second here. Sort a couple of cards back out that I mixed into the wrong deck here by accident. Yep. Okay. Roland gets a free clue because of his intuitive. We roll to see if Akashi becomes unblessed. She does not. That blessing is hanging strong, which I'm a fan of personally. And where'd the... Oh, there it is. Okay. Plus. Okay, so this guy also moves. That's what I was checking. He moves there. All right. First player comes over here. Leo has a sprained ankle and is now allergic to everything in the world. He still really wants to get into this gate, right? Whereas his speed is 4, so 1, 2, 3. Ugh. Yeah, that's not good. It's not good what he's got going on. So I think what Leo's going to do is come to Ma's boarding house so he can get an ally. Oh, also he spent $2 to reload his elephant gun during the last upkeep phase. Is he going to come to Ma's boarding house? What does he want to do? Like, he wants to get into a gate and seal it. That's what he wants to do, more than anything. But this stupid Dark Young is just blocking this thing. I mean, I guess he could just try to fight that guy again. Didn't go great last time. It really didn't go great last time. So, it does 3 damage if it punches you. Yeah, those guys are no bueno. And it's never going to move off that spot. That's the... So he is going to come to Ma's boarding house. Alright, Marie Lambeau. Would really like to get away from all these guys. Very badly. So she's... Or maybe she just kills these guys? Can she just kill these guys? -2 and -1. So her fight is what? +3, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, I think she can just take these guys. So first off, she's going to come over here. And that'll end her movement, right? Yeah, okay. So now she's going to try to cast Wither, which has a casting modifier of 0 and a sanity cost of 0. So, you know, why wouldn't you cast it? She gets to roll 4 dice. She failed to cast Wither. So before she moves over here, she tried to cast Wither. That's what she tried to do. No, she can't do that. So she's just there, and she failed to cast the spell, which makes her sad. Makes her very sad. Because now she maybe just gets killed by these guys. We'll see. So she's going to fight this this guy first. A Leng Spider. Do a horror check first. Her will is 2. And it's got -2, so great. She can't pass that check, so she just takes 2 horror damage. Or sanity damage, right, rather. Then her fight is 3, 4, 5, 6. Her fight is 6, minus 1 for this spider. So she's rolling 5 dice. She needs 2 successes. She got 1 success. Then she takes 2 damage, down to 1 health. Down to 2 health. Leo's going to use his leadership to block 1 of that damage. Then she's rolling 5 more dice. She rolled a success. So, hold on. I read that wrong. Because this guy does 4 damage to you when he hits you. So even if I block 1, it still kills her. So she dead. Easy enough. Akachi Onyele needs clues. She needs to come down to this black cave and get these 2 clues and then come into here. So step 1 is she needs to either kill or sneak by this guy. This guy is extremely bad. He's extremely bad. The end. So she's got a sneak of 3 and movement of 3. So she's going to try to sneak by this guy. Yeah, she's going to try to sneak by him. 2 dice. She needs a 4+. Hey, she did it. She comes in here, grabs these clues, and is happy about it. Roland Banks is down here. He's got a movement of 2. So bump that up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Oh, also, he got a free clue during the last upkeep phase from his intuitive thing. He comes over here to Gardener's Place and grabs all the clues in the world. He's got 7 clues right now. That is everybody. So, encounters. Leo Anderson is going to spend 2 gate trophies to get an ally. The ally he draws is... Let's see. John LaGrasse. Says +2 will. You can claim monsters with the endless ability as trophies, but the +2 will is extremely helpful because he's been getting wrecked by like this guy specifically. So Maria Lambeau died, so she wakes up in the hospital. And she gets a, what am I trying to say? She gets a injury card. That's what it is. Okay. So she has respiratory ailment. After each skill check, lose an amount of stamina equal to the number of clue tokens you spent during the check. So that's great. Totally great. totally great. She's got 3 health. I mean, nothing wrong with just losing health all the time for no reason. Okay. Akachi on Yele is in the Black Cave. The moaning winds in the cave whisper your name. Lose 1 sanity. Great. Down 5. No problem. Stupid wind. So we need to seal 3 more gates. Roland is going to hit 1 in a, what? 1, 2, like 3 turns. Marie needs another clue. And could maybe hit 1 in a couple of turns. Akachi can get in here, probably, next turn. So, like, we should be able to get it done, I hope. But we'll see. Okay. Roland Banks is in Gardner's place. You are filled with an unnatural vigor. Your stamina is restored to its maximum. In addition, you gain 3 extra stamina above your maximum that cannot be restored once lost. Wow, that's super good. So he's up to 8 stamina. I don't know why I'm looking for an 8 on a d6. Doesn't exist. So he's at 5 max stamina, and then he's got 3 more temporary stamina that he can't get back once it's gone. But super good is what just happened to him. Although, you know, his sanity is still, like, not great. Alright. That's everybody, right? Yep. Okay, so Mythos Face. Strange lights on campus. Headline: the library, administration building, and science building are all closed until the end of the next turn. Alright. Well, put some stuff on there to show that that happened. Clue appears at the Historical Society. A lot of clues at the Historical Society. And a gate opens up in the woods. Okay. I mean, that's fine for him because now he doesn't have to go deal with this freaking Dark Young that's killed him twice already. And a monster appears there. Hopefully, not another Dark Young. It's a deep one. 2/2/2, not too bad. Also, it occurs to me now. Hold on for 1 second. Choose any combination. Bonuses are applied. I've been doing combat wrong, more or less. Like, you can't have partial successes, right? So, like, this 3 wounds, you need to roll 3 all in one go. You can't roll 1 and then roll 2. So I've definitely cheated once or twice on that, but, you know, it's been a long time since I played this, so whatever. I don't think it would have had too much difference on the actual outcome. We've only killed a couple of monsters. Overall, we just sort of keep getting murdered by them most of the time. We do get a doom from that gate opening up. And monsters may or may not move. These guys move here. Maybe those guys are why those buildings closed down. This guy doesn't move, which makes Akachi sad. This guy never moves. This guy doesn't move. That guy does move. He comes to the sky. And we'll leave this here to show that that's closed till the end of next turn. All right. First player rotates We roll a die to see if Akachi becomes unblessed. Oh, no. That blessing was doing us so much good, though. Well, I guess it couldn't last the entire game. Okay. Marie Lambeau woke up in the hospital with a respiratory ailment. She needs a clue. So, bump that up to there. And she's going to go 1, 2, 3, come down here to the Historical Society, pick up all these clues. Akachi Onyele wants to get in here, right? Now, her odds of sneaking past that guy are less good than they were. But she's got a sneak of 4. So hopefully... hopefully we can get in there. So we're going to move there. She's going to roll 3 dice. And now she's not blessed. She did successfully sneak past the guy, though. So she gets in here, comes over here to another time. All right. That worked out for her. Roland Banks is going to go 1, 2, 3, and go into the Great Hall of Solano. Leo Anderson. What's this guy's thing? -2 horror. But he got +2 will from this guy, which is so good. Yeah, okay. So he's going to go here, here, here. And fight that deep one. Great. Yeah, deep one. Yeah, deep one. He's rolling 2 dice to see if he takes some horror damage. And I don't think he's got anything. Yeah, okay. He's pretty scared of that guy. So he's going to lose 1 horror, or 1 sanity, rather. Then he's going to do some combat on him. His fight is 3. 4, 5, 6, 7. -1. So he's rolling 5 dice and he needs 2 successes. 2 successes. He successfully kills the guy. You'll love to see it. And that lets him go into the Plateau of Lang. And that's everybody. So, encounters. Marie Lambeau is in the Historical Society. So, a retired actor, once the favorite of European theater, gestures to you. "Take this, my young friend," he says. "You'll need it against what's coming." He hands you a collection of news articles regarding the run of The King in Yellow in Paris. Pass a lore -1 check to sense an arcane pattern in them and draw a spell. If you fail, you must discard 2 clue tokens if able. Okay. Lore -1. Our lore is 4. So we're rolling 3. Oh, come on, man. I really wanted that. So we lose 2 clues. Still leaves us 5 clues. Which is enough. Really would have liked that spell, though, because that would have completed her... that would have completed her quest thing. But, c'est la vie. Okay. Akachi Onyele is in another time, so we're looking for red or green. Red. Pass a luck -2 check. Her luck is 0, so we fail the check. Blah, 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 blah. You find that you have become another person in a distant time. Years pass as you are married, raise a family, grow old, and finally die. However, it seems that you no sooner close your eyes for the final time than you open them again right back where you started, but with the memories of an extra lifetime. Draw 2 skills, discarding one of them. But we did not pass the check, so we did not actually have another cool lifetime worth of memories. So we just hang out instead, I guess. And know that we missed a cool opportunity to have weird stuff happen to us. Roland Banks is in the Great Hall of Solano. The symbol above the doorway glows. Make a luck -1 check. His luck is 4, 5, 6. So throwing dice all over the place. So he's rolling 5 dice. He passed it. If you pass, gain 2 stamina and 2 sanity. All right. Well, up to 3 sanity. And also, I remember why this die was here. That's his 3 temporary hit points. Give me 1 second to grab these dice that I've been throwing around on the floor. So, we've got 1, 2, 3 people in gates right now, and they can all seal the gates if they get out. So, theoretically, we could put this baby to bed in the not too distant future, but we'll see. So that was Roland Banks. Leo Anderson is in the Plateau of Lang. We're looking for red or green. Eventually, we'll find one of those colors. Maybe. I mean, I know they exist. Hey, there's a green one. Okay. Is that you, Camilla? A voice calls to you in the darkness. If you flee, lose 1 stamina. If you answer, pass a will -2 check or lose 2 sanity. Okay, so what's our will for him? Our will is 2. So we're just going to lose a stamina. Because we're not going to pass a 0 check. All right. That's all the things. So we're going to roll a die for the Mythos phase. Roll a 4, so we get a regular Mythos card. Strange forces exorcised from Arkham. Until the end of the next turn, anytime an investigator draws 1 or more spells for any reason, he draws 1 fewer cards. All right. Clue appears at Devil's Reef or the Science Building. Well, Devil's Reef is on a different board, so looks like the Science Building. And the Unvisited Isle would get a gate, but it's sealed. So, instead it doesn't. Okay. Possibly some monsters move also, I forgot. This guy moves up here. Moons. This moon guy would swoop down on someone in the streets, but there isn't anyone in the streets. So that's this moon guy moves also over here to downtown. The campus opens back up, although there are still numerous monsters there. This comes over here. Akachi moves to step 2 of this. Roland moves to step 2 of the Great Hall of Solano. Leo Anderson moves to step 2 of the Plateau of Lang. And Marie Lambeau is the only person left in the real world. What's she gonna do? Um, $5, huh? What is she gonna do? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what there is for her to do, really. She's got 4 speed, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Like, she doesn't want to go mess with any of these monsters, right? We've got, how many monsters are on the board? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So we should be good for next turn as far as like the terror level and stuff. Maybe she just comes to the Silver Twilight Lodge and sees what happens, I guess. I don't know. Okay. And that's it. Okay, have some encounters now. Akachi Onyele. Another time, we're looking for red or green. Red or green, red or green, come on. I know red and green exist. Eventually. Philbo, I think we're theoretically about to win. Hopefully, we'll see. But, see how it turns out when you come back from your errand. Hey, there we go. Other. Discard this card and draw again. Well, the color matched anyway. Man, we're going through a giant stack. Okay. The humidity and heat is exhausting. Lose 1 stamina. Alright, well, Leo Anderson is going to block that one because she's only got 1 stamina. So, easy enough. Roland Banks now is looking for red or green. I mean, blue or green, rather. Blue or green. Come on. Blue. Solano. You feel that all the answers are here, if only you can find them. Gain 2 clue tokens, but you are delayed. Well, fiddlesticks. 2 clues, but it costs us a turn, which is a shame because he already had enough clues. All right, Leo is in the Plateau of Lang, looking for red or green. Hey, there's a red one. You push yourself to the limit. Roll 1 die for each point of stamina you have. Lose 1 stamina for each die that does not roll a success. If you do not fall unconscious, gain 1 clue token for each die that rolled a success. Ugh. This is not great. So we're rolling 3 dice. We need to roll at least 1 success here. Whew, 2 successes. Okay, so we take 1 wound. And we get 2 clues. Alright. Marie Lambeau is in the Silver Twilight Lodge. A lovely young woman stumbles into you. Whoop. A lovely young woman stumbles into you as you're searching for the library. Pardon me, she says. My name is Constance Hawberk. Have you seen my father? Pass a luck -2 check to point her in the right direction. In return, she points you to the library and you gain 2 clues. Alright, so we're rolling 1 die. If we get a success, we get some clues. We did not get a success. We have failed to learn where the library is. Alrighty. Mythos phase happens now. Strange tremors cease. All Chthonians and Doles in Arkham are returned to the cup. If at least 1 monster returns to the cup, raise the terror level by 1. We don't have any Chthonians or Doles on the board. A clue appears at the unnameable. A lot of clues in the unnameable. A gate opens at Independence Square, but it's blocked. You love to see it, folks. These guys move down here. Who else moves? Anybody else move? I don't think anyone else moves, so. Independence Square is putting in work, being sealed up there. Okay. First player comes over here. Roland Banks wakes up from being exhausted or delayed or whatever. Leo Anderson comes back out on the board here. Marie Lambeau has 4 speed, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, she could come get like a million clues. Counter here, you may spend 5 toughness worth of monster trophies to gain $5. Okay, so she's just going to come here and get a million clues. Kachi Onyale is going to come out of this gate here. And that's everybody. So Roland Banks is still in the Great Hall of Solano. So we're looking for a blue or a green encounter card for him. Hey, there's a green one. You pick up a shock white feather from the cracked ground, sensing something strange about it. Keep this card. You may discard it to prevent any investigator from losing up to 3 sanity or stamina. Wow, okay. And things are going really well for our boy Roland in with these otherworld encounters. They just like keep giving him a million health and stuff. Leo Anderson is going to try to seal this puppy. So his fight is 4, 5 fight, -1. So rolling 4 dice. Look at that. 4 6s. Boom. And he's going to spend 5 clues to seal this gate. And any diamond monsters would go back into the void. That guy's a diamond. Is he the only one? I think he's the only one. So that guy gets sucked back into the void. Marie Lambeau is in the unnameable. The house calls to you. If you follow its voice, it tells you which floorboards to pry up. You may draw 1 unique item, but also take the Tainted card if it is available. Tainted. Wow, that must be an expansion thing. I don't know what Tainted does. So we're just going to choose to not become Tainted. I'm not going to dig through all the weird expansion stuff to find out what being Tainted does. It doesn't sound good, I'll say that. She's going to say, "I'm good, house. Thank you, though." Akachi is going to seal this baby. She's got 4 fight. She gets a +1 bonus for sealing gates. She succeeded. She spends 4 clues. To seal this. Boink. Take a gate trophy. check the victory condition here. Seal 6 or more gates. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once Roland comes out and seals his, I believe we will win. So let's see if we can make that happen. Right, Mythos phase. Strange creatures seen on the shore. A monster appears in each of the following: river docks, unvisited isle, and all aquatic locations and all aquatic street areas on expansion game boards. Alright, river docks and unvisited isle. A monster and a monster. We got another Dark Young and also a warlock, a very dapper looking warlock. Excuse me. And a gate would open at Wizard's Hill or Independence Square. But look at this. Look at this. They're both sealed. Get wrecked, Arkham Horror. Does that put us over the monster limit? That's the question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It certainly does. Also, we are already over the monster limit, I believe. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No. Okay, so we're good. Not 100% sure. Let me double check on the terror thing. Okay, yeah. So the terror level, if it reaches 10 and keeps going up, you start getting doom for it. But until then, like at 3, 6, and 9, you close the various stores as people like leave town because of all the terrible monsters. But until then, until you hit 10, it's not like a game losing sort of thing. Also, possibly some monsters move. Forgot to check that. Square, circle, and diamond. I don't think any monsters move, so we're good. Alright. First player rotates. Leo Anderson is just going to hang out in the woods. He doesn't want to mess with this situation. Marie Lambeau I think, I mean, she might just hang out in this haunted house, to be honest. Yeah, I think she's just gonna hang out. Akachi Onyele. She'll just hang out in this graveyard. Everyone's just hanging out right now. Except for Roland Banks, who comes back out here. And we're going to have some encounters now. So, Leo's in the woods. You trip over a blood-stained axe that lay hidden beneath a tangle of brush. If you pass a luck +1 check, it isn't too badly rusted. You can search the common item deck for an axe card and take it. Alright. Our luck's 4, so we're rolling 5 dice to see if we can find an axe. We rolled a success. We found a cool axe. Where's an axe? Axe. Sedanette. Sledgehammer? Kerosene. Student newspaper. All right. Come on. Where's my axe? I saw it previously when I was flipping through here. But there are many, many cards. So come on. Hey, there's an axe. Okay. +2 to combat checks. +3 instead if your other hand is empty. All right. So now we're dual wielding an axe and a saber. Seems pretty all right. Marie Lambeau is going to see what the house says to her this time. Pass a luck -1 check to find a hidden cache concealed in the wall of an upstairs bedroom. Okay. We did it. Draw 1 unique item. She found the Massa di Requiem per Shuge. It's a tome. Whoa. That doesn't seem the most useful. The effect of this is spend 4 movement points to make a will -2 check. If you pass, discard this card and the ancient one immediately awakens. If you fail, nothing happens. So that seems of dubious worth, let's say. That's funny. All right, Akachi Onyele is hanging out in the cool graveyard. So let's see what happens to her. You fall into an open grave and land upon a corpse that you're certain is not human. Lose 1 sanity but gain 1 clue token. All right, why not? Leo's going to use his ability to make her not lose 1 sanity. She just finds a clue. Yay. And Roland Banks. Let's see what Roland can do. He's got a fight of 4, 5. He's got a fight of 5. This thing is -1. So we need a success here. Whoop. We rolled 5 and a 6. We spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clues and seal the gate, which I believe wins the game for us, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sealed gates. That's the game, baby. So I thought that was going to go worse when we had to do those 3 Mythos cards in a row, but it worked out all right in the end. Yeah, so that's Arkham Horror. I like this game a lot. You know, it's mainly just silly flavor text, the game. Like, my only real issue with this game is that it's got all this crazy stuff you can do, but the actual game is like super tight as far as like, go here, get clues, go here, close gates, seal gates, the end. Everything else here is just like a distraction, right? Which is fun to mess around with, but it makes for a game that like kind of tears at its own seams a little bit, you know? Because it's like the game wants you to do all this fun stuff, like go become the deputy of Arkham and like become a member of the Silver Twilight Lodge, or in the expansions you can like become a weird gang member or join the FBI or all kinds of weird stuff. But the core loop of the game is control the monsters on the board, seal gates as fast as you possibly can, and don't do anything that distracts you from that, you know? Which, again, is fine. It's just, you know, it just kind of, it's got a lot of weird stuff that you can do, but then the game kind of punishes you for actually like taking the time to futz around and do the weird stuff, you know? So, you know, I like the game. It's a fun die rolling flavor text version of Pandemic, basically, because it's like stuff pops up, you gotta handle the hotspots, control the board. But it's all die rolls instead of just Pandemic, move around and do stuff, you know? Anyway, yeah. That's Arkham Horror. I've never played the 3rd edition, but I've heard mixed things about it. I really like 2nd edition. And I've got all of it, so I don't think I need more or a different one. I've also got a bunch of the card game, which is a totally different kind of beast, but it certainly is brutally punishing, if nothing else. So, yeah, just kind of rambling now, but I think I'm gonna call it there, y'all. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, then hopefully I'll see y'all back on Monday, and we will finish out our Marvel Champions campaign with Wasp and Ant-Man. We've got Zola and Red Skull, Expert Zola and Expert Red Skull, to run through next time, and we'll see if we can't keep Hydra from taking over the world. We kept Cthulhu from taking over the world this time. He only got up to 9 Doom. Again, that sealed gate right there saved us from Cthulhu waking up, basically, because there were like 4 gates that should have opened up there, which worked out pretty well. So yeah, gonna go on a little raid here, and again, thanks a lot for hanging out, you guys.